Now, our goal is not just to raise successful children, but children who can feel, understand, and care for others. Because caring itself solves a lot of things in the world that we live today. Now, because a child with empathy doesn't just succeed in life, they make life better for others. And for that, that kind of attitude will definitely be a multiplying effect for others when, you have a good family foundation, a good community, and it's going to spread all over the world. So I'm going to leave it.
Hi everyone. Every parent wants their child to succeed, but not every parent is raising a child who cares. Welcome to Lens House Studio. Today we're talking about something deeper than good grades and success. We're talking about raising children who show empathy without becoming entitled. As you know, in many African homes, we are raising to respect elders. We raise kids who respect elders, but not always taught to understand the emotions. In this episode today, we'll be talking about raising children who are not just disciplined, but who show empathy, who are empathetic. Children who don't just say yes, sir, but also know how to care about others. Because in today's world, some children have everything, yet appreciate nothing. And the question is, are we raising children who understand people, or children who feel entitled to everything? Like we said in the motherland, a child who is not taught will sell the house that built him. Let's talk about it. And to do so, I'm happy to have in the studio with me, Ben.
Hi, Dintos. It's always a pleasure being in the studio with you. And wherever you're watching us from, you're welcome to Lens Out today. We will keep each answer simple, grounded, and as usual, we're going to give you some stories and some proverbs just for you to use it as a guide. On to you, Tosin. Let's get it on.
Yes, today we'll be talking about building empathy in children while avoiding entitlement. And I'm going to define some terms I know we all know about it. For example, empathy, the ability to understand and feel what someone else is going through and respond with care. Entitlement, a mindset where a child believes they deserve special treatment, reward, or privilege without any effort or consideration for others. Simply put, empathy says, how does this affect others? Entitlement says, what do I get out of this? So to address this, we hope to be able to dig into our 5 different questions that we want to answer, providing our own experience, and see how that helps you, because that's always helped us too. The first question I have is, what's the difference between giving child a good life and raising an entitled child? What's the difference between giving a child, because you always want your child to have a comfortable life, but you also want to be mindful of not making them feeling entitled, not showing empathy. So what's the difference between that?
Okay, so you have some point that I've noted somewhere. So I'm going to be, jogging both sides. So let's start with this in a very simple logic manner. In a simple manner, I want to be very simple so that, everyone watching us across the world will understand. Now I'm going to start with, now, giving your child a good life, right, is about providing with purpose. That's a good life. Now, entitlement on its own is when a child receives without understanding the value. So let me break it down. Visions plus value, it's a good life. Visions without responsibility, it's entitlement. Let me give you a story. A father buys his child a new phone because they work hard all times and all. Another father buys same phone, right, for the child because he complained. Same gifts,
Yeah.
different lessons. So if you understand that particular story, you should be able to understand what each one felt within. I'm going to state it again that there's a proverb. Let me borrow from, as you always do. There's a proverb that I wrote here. It said, he who carries you on the back, he who's carried on the back, right, does not know how far the journey is. So a good life build gratitude, entitlement build expectation. What
That's
about
a
you, Titus?
That's actually a good one. Also, on the lane of African adage, I will put this. In many African cultures, struggle was part of training. We say the child who fetches water knows the value of every drop
Sure. Let me draw.
of
Sure.
water.
Sure.
The
Sure.
child who fetches water know
Sure.
the value of every drop of
Sure.
water.
Sure. Sure.
Research on development and psychology says that children who are given responsibility like chores, they ask them to contribute, develop stronger empathy
Sure.
and gratitude compared to those who are over pampered. When children are given responsibility, it creates a sense of belonging in them and diminish the act of not showing empathy over entitlement. Are we removing too much struggle and
Mm,
accidentally raising entitlement? As
mm,
you have said, if you are not giving responsibility to your children, you are indirectly building an entitled
type two.
child. Create responsibility. Like the adage you said, a child who is carried at the back does not know how far the journey
So
is.
eight.
That's a good word. We just keep it that simple and
Sure.
straightforward.
Definitely.
Let's go to number two. Number two say, looking at how we were raised, did our upbringing build empathy
Mm,
or just obedience? Looking at how we were raised, did our
yeah.
upbringing build empathy or just
So
obedience?
again, we have to look at the environment that each one of us, grew up, right? Now, maybe for myself and you and I, maybe we grew up in a middle class environment, right? Which most parents understand that education or some other stuff are very important, is very crucial for your future. Now, some people grew up in a wealthy class, right? Whereby there's a level of,
Comfort.
fault that is being done. And again, we have another class of people whereby when you call them street old seed, you know what I mean in terms of forget about this. But the most important thing is this: many of us were raised to obey, right? Not to understand. That's one of the things that if you look at our generation, and that's why I appreciate the fact that Gen Z and Gen Alpha that we have today are more of curious. They are curious, yeah. Because you feel that they want to know why should I. They ask questions. So many of us were raised to obey, which is good. Which is good because one way or the other, it shows some level of emotional intelligence to everything we do, especially in the Western world, right? And we are not always in the aspect to okay, why are we doing this? We are not trained to understand. So obedience teaches structures. Empathy teaches awareness of others. That's one of the things, that's the crucial difference between those two. Now, another story I'm going to throw in here, which I wrote down. Now, growing up here, right? If someone's older spoke, we always keep quiet. We can't talk back. That's the normal thing. That's something that we'll just be looking down. Well, we can't look at their face. Yeah, which is true. We just be looking like that and say, okay, okay. We won't talk back. You can't question. You can't explain. But sometimes you also don't learn you don't know how you feel. You just learn how to stay out of trouble. That's how that's how we're brought up, right? And honestly, like I said, it is something that has helped us, to where we are today. Oh, yes. Now, let me give you a proverb again. There's a proverb that said, a child who is not allowed to speak may grow up not knowing how to listen.
Mm.
So it is for us to be able to deduce that. At the end of the day, our upbringing gives us discipline, right? Now, we must add empathy to it. I will stop there. Let me hear from your side.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe I should start with a story.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
But let me read up what I have here. Many of us grew up hearing because I say so. That just confirm what you say. It's like we grew up in a barrack where
Exactly.
soldier come, do this, do that. Respect was enforced, but emotional expression was often suppressed. Emotional expression was suppressed. Meaning, yeah, keep your emotion to yourself, lock it up. No,
Be honest, just check it in.
yeah,
They don't
no
care.
matter what you feel, and that also diminish creativity. Research from psychology shows that authoritative parenting, firm but emotionally responsive, produce more empathic would produce more empathetic children with authoritarian parenting, strict, low emotional connection. So what this is saying, did our upbringing teach us to understand other or to just comply? The truth is our upbringing teaches us to just comply.
To comply.
Not to understand. Yes. So, and that is why as parents is very hard. That's why I used to tell people that it's very, very hard. Some people say I'm a lazy dad. That's why. I say that it's very, very hard to be a father in Western world.
Man,
That is very, very hard because you have to be all-rounder, a provider. You listen to the emotion, you talk, you play. Our dad have it a little bit easier. I'm sorry, Dad, if you're hearing. They have it a little bit easier. So definitely our upbringing cascade the way we parent, but we need to be aware of this as parents, that building emotional intelligence, building kids who show empathy, who are empathetic, is very important vis-a-vis kids who listen to authority. So you must strike a balance in this scenario. For example, my kids sometimes use word like, "What do you mean?" You know how you feel when you hear that. I was telling one of them, I was supposed to take her out for a gymnastic class, so I could not make it. So I was trying to like be a Western father. I'm sorry, I can't make it today. No, not that's not. I said you won't be able to go for your gymnastic today because I have some other engagement. The next thing I hear is that, "What do you mean?" I was in between shouting and when I was telling my wife this, she was just laughing. I was in between shouting and saying, in short, I'm canceling this program is taking my time. I can't do it again, you understand? So I just paused. When I paused, because I was bringing her up from school. She wasn't, we're riding with her. The next thing again, "What do you mean, Daddy?" So I think that word "Daddy" softened my heart a little bit. I said, actually, you don't use the word "what do you mean." It's so confrontational that I had to pause. And that is so confrontational that
you don't know what will come out from their mouth, honestly. Yeah. And then when it comes out, you'll be like, "What? In what world?" Again, yeah, we are.
So later on, in retrospect, I say, okay, what do you mean is actually a question.
I know.
Because we are brought up in an environment that we only comply. When somebody say, "What do you mean?" we hear it's from up to down. We hear our parents more say, "What do you mean?" Not we the kids saying, "What do you mean?"
Exactly. We can't
So
say
when a kid say, "What do you mean?" you're like, "And if he disrespect." So I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's go to number 3. We're trying to beat out time. We're trying to stay within the time frame this time around.
Yeah.
What are the early signs that a child may be developing entitlement? What are the early signs that a child may be developing entitlement?
So an entitlement shows slowly, right? And it shows early, right? Shows slowly and it shows early. Now, in attitude, not just behavior. Now, there are signs like no appreciation. That's all. What else can we do, right? Constant comparison. Maybe in school, my friends has this. What are you giving me? What is better, right? Not taking responsibility, lack of empathy for others, expecting reward, like we said in the beginning of the first question, without efforts, right? So a child that receives a gift and immediately asks, "Is that it?" That's a bad child, right? That's a learned mindset, meaning that why should such word comes from the mouth? That's just, how to summarize this, this whole concept of, signs of, developing entitlement. Now, again, I'm going to give a proverb that says, the child who always begins to think giving is beneath them. So for me, I will end with entitlement is not created overnight. It grows in small and repeated moments. So the onus is on us to know how we deal with it in our child's life. What about your side?
Yeah, the signs basically can't handle no, lack of appreciation, prioritizing themselves, or the magic word in our home is thank you.
Mm.
If anybody should do anything for you, thank you, daddy.
Mm.
So, but what I do is that not only from the kids, I also say thank you to the kids. When you should show,
Yes. Okay.
kids mirror what they see
True.
than what you say.
Yeah.
How they see you show empathy to others is what they mirror.
Yes.
So the early signs are they can't handle no, they lack appreciation, they prioritize themselves over others. Back then, if food finish, you wait. Today, some kids say, I don't like this. Other say, I like something else.
True.
Those are signs. Study
Mm.
links to entitlement says lack of boundary over praise without effort, immediate reward system. That's what they said. Upfront reward system.
Upfront, honestly.
Now, okay, I'm going to do this for you, but you will do this and this for me. There's this story of, there's a video I watched of that guy should be in his mid, I think, and he went to I think I sent the video to you. He went to his mom's kitchen. I don't know, maybe it's a stepmom. I really can't, whatever that relationship, but it's a mom-like relationship. And he was catching everything one after the
Yeah, I
one
remember that
after
video.
the
Yeah, I remember
other.
that video.
Yeah,
They
I
were
was
filming it from
stuck.
afar.
Yeah, I was stuck and frozen that this is entitlement in display. So because I tried to look for both angles, like what did the parent do for him to have acted like this? But I'm sorry, I could not find justification enough for him to act that way. I just concluded that he's a spoiled child. Is entitled. And at that age and stage is very, very hard. You cannot bend a dry fish. You are going to break it. So there definitely are signs of entitlement at early age that the parents are not putting into consideration and correcting immediately. And when it becomes a
monster,
yeah, a monster, there's nothing
there's no going back.
is the clock cannot be
So
rolled
you have
back.
to tame it at the best timing. Just tame it as quickly as possible and kill the monster. I agree. 100%.
Yes. So when you see those signs of frustration, lack of appreciation, those are signs that you need to say, hey, I just did this for you. I just bought you a sneakers. Did you say thank you? Oh, I'm sorry, daddy. Thank you. Good. Next time, if I remind you, we enter the same trouser leg. Those who know that proverb know that true. Number 4, as fathers, how do we intentionally teach empathy in everyday life? How did we intentionally teach empathy in everyday life? Let me read this African insight. Empathy wasn't always taught with words. It was shown in community. It takes a village to raise a child. How do we teach empathy in everyday life?
So empathy is not taught in lectures. Empathy is not taught in teaching. It's a daily moment, right? It is taught in a daily moment. So meaning that, like you said, the role that we have decided to take in the Western world will be quite different from where we're coming from, where you have places here and there that can still, there's this an adage in Yoruba. I don't know how to say that adage that says, "Ẹ̀kọ́ bá kọ́ ẹ nílé, ìta ló máa jí kọ́ ẹ wá." Meaning, you get what I'm trying to say?
Lesson not learn at home, we will learn on the
Exactly,
street.
they will teach you how exactly. So, why I'm saying this is because of the fact that in this part of the world,
And in addition to that, the implication is that when they are teaching you on the street, it comes at a very high cost.
it's called exactly
Physical damage or
exactly
your wallet
exactly
will pay.
exactly. So the thing is just it's all about, like you said, honesty. From what you said, honesty. I'm making up my mind that I'm going to get like all this frame, right? Stating that maybe in this house, whatever anybody gives you, regardless, if they're your mommy or dad, say thank you. Appreciate that person, no matter how small. The thing is because it's in our daily effort that we have to teach these kids, moment like it's not about looking for a perfect moment. Most of the time, when my wife cooks or I receive the food and I know I want to eat and I finish the food, I always say thank you so much. And over time, they've been doing that also, but I believe that there is more, And there was a time again that, my wife would buy clothes, all these native for the kids, and they would just still be native clothes. They will not wear it. They will just be wearing the one that, we bought for them here. And my mom would, and their mom would now be saying, what is wrong with you people? I will spend a lot of money to buy this. You are not wearing it. Anytime they wear it, like, it's screaming, I don't want to wear it. Yeah,
But yeah, it's
my mom,
itching me.
their
That's
mom
my
will now,
own.
exactly, their mom now saying, problem. Next time I will not do it again. You know the number of people that, is struggling to get what you're wearing. Do you know the number of people? So
Yeah,
they forget
they did.
about it. That is to them. Well, honestly, there are so many ways whereby, as a father, we have a lot of responsibility. Another one is to model it. Like, let them see how you treat people with respect, which we have. We can't we can talk as many as possible because they mirror you. Whatever you do is what they will do outside
Yeah.
there. So it's important that you create that particular atmosphere whereby they mirror you outside there. And somebody can say, you are the true son of your father, like they always say, right? So, and again,
Yeah, carbon
involve
copy.
them. Exactly. Another point is to involve them, right? Now, helping others, family, neighbors, community are very, very crucial. Ask reflective questions. How do you think people felt? Those are part of the things you have to do as a father, parent. Encourage giving, not just receiving, because most of these kids today, anytime they want to ask, you said, Daddy want to buy McDonald's, Daddy want to buy I said, have you ever thought that this money we are buying from McDonald's, if you put it on a stock or we save it for you, it's going to use something good for you? He said, no, 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 no. We want to buy this. I said, see, I know what I'm saying, but
Let's eat
kids.
McDonald's today.
Exactly. Kids, they love, all those kind of things. And again, it is very, very, very important for us to always correct them. Immediately correct behaviors with perspectives. Like, don't hurt your sister. How can we fix it? There are so many things we can say for them. We just, the moment that thing happened, let's fix it as quickly as possible. Like, let me say, there's a story that I have here. A father noticed his son laughing at someone who fell, right? Instead of him shouts helping, right? He asks, if that is how we feel, that question, changed that particular moment. You are not supposed to laugh when someone fell. Even though when I was growing up, when I fell, my daddy would say, did you put stick in your eyes? But you can't do that. Yeah, you have to say, oh, sorry, can I help you? You just have to show that particular thing. Again, let me stay proverb there before we go. So what you do in front of the child becomes what they do to others. That's why we talk about mirror. Mirror. You are the mirror to your child. Whatever you do is what they would do. So I'm going to close with children learn empathy by singing it, not sharing about it. What about you?
Yeah. You've answered so well that I'm pausing. Maybe I don't need to say anything, but I'll
Yeah.
say this story. We barely have snow in our place. So early this year we have snow. So because of that, we know whenever snow is like Jesus is coming here. In the sense that everybody will go and stock up, you understand? So we
Yeah.
stocked up and I think maybe we had like 20 inches and we were locked down for almost a week plus, or if not two. And one of the week I was so bored, I say, hey, let's go and check what the street is saying. So I drove to the store, only me. And when I got to the store, I had a flat tire.
Wow.
So I typically know how to change tire when I was in Nigeria, but here here is a different ball.
It happens to be, to be honest.
Is a different ball game. So I started remembering my how to change tire. So only me, but I drove into the store parking lot. So only me in this place trying to change the tire. Then one black dude just walked towards me. Say, hey buddy, do you need help? I say, oh, you don't need to ask. I need a lot of help. So the guy helped me, did everything together. Somebody else came again, brought some
Wow.
cute machine, just zoo zoo. I was like, wow, I put that stuff on Amazon. I'm gonna buy that machine. It's a
Wow.
good. It helps to do. So we finished up everything, and I said
Yeah.
very well. I said thank you to him. He said, and I told him, do you know why I came? That when he was going, that his daughter told him that, hey, he looks like you. Go help him.
Oh dear God.
Yeah.
Imagine.
So he now told his daughter to go back, to go into the store, go continue with the shopping. So he now came out
Wow.
to help me. There's
That's
no better
empathy.
way of explaining empathy
Honestly, that's empathy.
as that. Now, him going back to his child, funny enough, the guy now is from Kenyan, but
Wow.
he used to be in the military. He's now a nurse, blah, blah,
Wow.
blah. So we exchange contact, blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
So his daughter now cannot say she does not understand empathy.
Oh, exactly.
In short, it shows that they practice empathy in their
Always,
house
always.
for the daughter to say, Daddy, it looks like you. Go and help him.
Mm.
So that's very good way of saying
Honestly.
empathy should be ingrained. Modeling, as you have said, is a solution towards empathy. What they see is what they do.
Honestly, that's it.
Let children see you help others. Talk through emotion. Apologize when you are wrong.
Boom.
The last one, so that I won't take too much time.
Yeah.
Can giving children too much comfort reduce their empathy?
Yeah.
Soft life can raise a hard heart. African
Mm.
had say, soft life can raise a hard life. Heart.
Mm.
Can giving children too much comfort reduce empathy?
Yeah. So let me start with the proverb. The child who has never walked barefoot does not know the pain of the road. That is
At
how
all.
I'm going to start with. Exactly. So comfort is not the problem. Excess comfort without awareness is. I was watching this. I was watching my uncle. What was yesterday? It was preaching on the pulpit about how someone that he prayed for came with, I think, about 10 or 20 new cars, right? And he knows that maybe some of us, his kids needs cars too. But he said that's not the way they brought us up. He said, these cars, oh, I'm not going to give any of these kids. They have to use their money to know how to buy tokumbo. They are not giving them new car because I don't want them to start on that plate. I know what I'm doing. You need to know the value of whatever you want, you have. So he said for those guys, what he just did is just give all the staffs and ministers of that particular church. That is what he has said he will imbibe in each one of them, and which he is doing, which I too can testify about it. Like I said, comfort is not the problem. Excess comfort without awareness is. Now, struggle builds perspectives. That's the most important thing. So that is how we all are raised, which you can testify, because too much ease can reduce appreciation. That's just the truth, right? And children who never experience lack may not understand others' reality. So,
That's it.
so it is on us to understand that when these kids are growing up, there should be a form of discomfort to show them that there is more to life than where, even if you have excess, there's more to life to where this thing is coming from. So a story I'm going to say here, which I wrote here, is that a child who always gets what they want may not understand why another child can't. Not because they are bad, but because they've never experienced that limit. I always tell my kids, there's a bunk bed upstairs there. One sleep up, one sleep down. They said, no, that we want individual. I said, do you know the billions of people, the billions of kids in this world that
Wishing
are
and
looking
dreaming.
for what you have, they don't have, and I'm giving you, you're telling me that this is. They don't tell you that you are sorry with that. Okay, no problem. Actually, don't sleep on it. What's my own? A little discomfort build empathy. Too much comfort can numb them. So it's on us.
Yeah, too much comfort can numb them. Good,
So,
that's a good one. Children need love, but also limits, discipline, and perspective, as you have said.
yeah,
They need love. Children need love, and it's your responsibility to provide that. But in that regard, they also need limits,
exactly.
discipline, and perspective. We used to do community service volunteers. I think that's
Yes.
right from place of my where I work, where I will go to go and help to serve food, go and help to package food for the less privileged. We do all this stuff. So I have a conversation with my daughter that I'm like, I think one of these days I need to enroll as a family, not as a worker, and take you there. So that you see how people, because to be candid, this country is dual.
Yes,
Is
now.
binary in the sense you are good, blessed, okay, happy, rich, and there is the bad.
There's two parts to life. So honesty is
Yes.
good or bad. Let's call it that way.
Yeah, so some people mostly see the beautiful rosary part of Western country.
That's
There's the
illegal for
other
you.
part. There's the other part, and that's where you have some people sleeping on the street days, weeks. You can say that it is their fault. They are not blah blah. You can have 1,001 reason why that happened to them. That's not where I'm going to. But either way, they are living a discomfort life, and that is not good. So going to help those people, help you understand two things, that some people are living less than you, and your decision also determine where you want to end. So is a stone to kill two birds. So I'll say, yeah, that's not a bad idea. The next time I think I'm going to enroll you to see how people. I even have a friend that actually work in NGO, and that's what they do. They go to different cities and to help the less privileged. So I told him that one of these days, when he has some opening for weekend, I'll come with my family and just help them to see the other side, because it's very, very important for them to see, not thinking that we're not super rich, but we're not poor, but there are people who are poor. So for you to see how those people actually live, it will make you come back and appreciate. And I remember,
life.
there was a time I took her. I think she understand that part. When I was looking for a street basketball coach, I took her to some hoods, and she was like, "Oh, I like my neighborhood." I said, "No, my pocket know how much your neighborhood costs." But it's my pockets that you should ask. My pocket and your boss pocket that will tell you how much our neighborhood costs. So making them to see the other side is very important for them to be able to appreciate, and for it to be able to build empathy in them and stop them from feeling entitled. Entitlement does not mean you shouldn't pamper, comfort, support, encourage, show love to your children. That's not what we're saying. But there's a limit, there's a discipline, and there's a perspective. Do you want to give your last word? Then I'll just give
Yes. So I just want a word
an exit note.
our period, for all the parents, the fathers all over the world. Now, our goal is not just to raise successful children, but children who can feel, understand, and care for others. Because caring itself solves a lot of things in the world that we live today. Now, because a child with empathy doesn't just succeed in life, they make life better for others. And for that kind of attitude will definitely be a multiplying effect for others when you have a good family foundation, a good community, and it's going to spread all over the world. So I'm going to leave it at that particular junction. So thank
Yeah.
you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome.
Let me just give this exit. At the end of the day, raising children is not about giving them just a better life. It's about giving them a better heart. Because a child who has everything but feel nothing for others will struggle in life. But a child who understands people, respects others, and lead with empathy, that child become a blessing not only to themselves but to the world. Like we say back home in Africa, character is wealth. You cannot steal it. So maybe the goal is not just to raise a successful children, but to raise good human beings. This is Les Our Studio, where we don't just raise kids, but we raise future leaders. Thank you so much, guys. See you.
Starting out.
Bye.